Alright, so I've had some chance to work on some AM CNC machines, and it hasn't always gone that good. So in a way, I'm thankful I've been taught how to set these machines up from scratch. I've never had to put a baseboard down and do real CNC stuff outside of my hobby grade machine. And I've made some mistakes, if I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. Excuse the sound, organize a little puddle or something like that. But yeah, I've made mistakes, like big mistakes. So, cut these 24s prototypes for ARC Audio. Fortunately, they're very understanding, and the machine wasn't square. So I've had to try and square things up once I've cut them, of course, which means that that precision that I want to deliver is just not there. But I only make that mistake once, and thereafter it's time to fix. So let me take you through this process and tell you what I have learned. Firstly, considering this is the small CNC writer from am.co.za, it's absolutely fantastic. Here I've cut out some extra pieces for the front jump. Because this is double thick 80mm birch ply, the good stuff, guys, look at how beautiful that is, right? Pretty hard to bend, so because this was slightly skew, I mean, I don't think the average human being will notice that this is like 2 mils pitched across the face, but it's leaning ever so slightly. Yeah, right, so I'm still going to put some bracing in. The bracing that I had cut, I've had to make a plan. I've had to now chop these in half. These are very big panels. So what I'm going to have to do now is kind of, this was supposed to be one piece like this, right? You can see this over here. Well, that's all one piece that's supposed to go into the middle of this box, but it's not happening that way. Now it's time to optimize. So to give myself a little bit of clearance, what I've done is I've chopped it in half, and I'm going to split them. That way I've got a little bit of extra play on my whole entire length of my material. These guys are absolutely ginormous. I mean, that's my face height. It's incredible. Okay, so what happens? I make a mistake. I realize stuff is not perfectly square. Kevin, sorry about your order. If your order, because, well, it's absolutely 100% not going to be perfectly square, but you got it together, so well done, truthfully speaking. So when your CNC is not cutting absolutely straight, this y-axis, right, going down this way, gentlemen, will always be true to your machine. It doesn't matter what angle this top is. Y will always be true. And in this particular instance, X coming down this way, I was not square to this or the gantry was not square. I only found this out once I'd cut these big buggers, because this panel is really long. So, left to assumption, I thought that everything was right, but it wasn't. But of course, I'm a woodworker. I trimmed a little bit here and there, and we are together, and for the most part, it's looking pretty healthy. So the technicians came in, I'd done the exercise with them, and a CNC actually is generally quite easy to get perfectly square. If you don't know how to square off your CNC machine, I'll maybe make a video and show you how it's done. Leave a comment, but it's relatively easy. We take this cover off, exposes this massive NEMA 42 motor, and you loosen some bolts. We do the same thing that side. We loosen some bolts, and we tap it ever so slightly to accommodate. Now you won't be able to see here, but I've made little holes. So right now we are 0.5 millimeters off at 1.8 meters, which, guys, you know, we're talking about a half mil across almost 2 meters, and I say 0.5, it's possibly a little bit less, but we are now perfectly square. So what I've done is I've come in today to spend my Saturdays making sure that going forward everything is going to be okay. You can see this mess here. Now it's time to convert this into real life work. I've cut a whole bunch of different pieces here. I've got some scribbles. I'll show you exactly what this is all about and what I'm doing. But right now we're at the end game, and here on forward we are going to be making absolute precision. I'm thoroughly impressed with the AM CNC machine. This is the standard 2030, and to be honest with you, I've worked on a couple of machines in terms of sending information to them. For those of you guys who are into CNCs and use Aspire, even though I bump up my rapid rates and so forth to match the machine, if Aspire tells me I'm going to be cutting in, I don't know, let's say 1 hour, I'm doing it in 20 minutes. I'm telling the machine how to process. I'm cutting faster. The F code and S code I'm setting myself so that it's my own feeds and speeds. Doing such a good job, I'll be honest with you. And this is the baby. Right now, the base of this machine, which is essentially just the machine, the router, and over here is, I think, 108,000 Rand excluding VAT. If you include that dust collector, which is absolutely great. Even with all the doors closed, it doesn't feel like I need to throw in double layers of dust masks, though it's really good to do it all the time. Water driven vacuum pump for the table. This thing is an absolute beast. If you are familiar with the old types of air driven pumps, this thing is water drawn. Gentlemen, this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Holds down this material, everything split up into zones. I had to learn how to put the top on myself. I was going around, let's see, I've thrown a whole bunch of them somewhere, maybe thrown them away. If you're used to, there you go, in the corner. If you're used to this dead cord stuff, man, don't do it. This is shit, right? Of course, here's the ATC machine. But that dead cord, if that's what you're used to and that's what you're using in your machines, it's rubbish, throw it away. I learned a new trick. You're going to silicone down your board. You are going to do all of your zones, right? You're going to silicone right up to the edge here, like I've done on this. And you're going to silicone this guy up, right? You want to make sure that you catch all your zones, so it splits up the vacuum evenly. But, hi babe, thanks for your patience and my endless working hours. Love you, Nicole. Yeah, that guy over there is an absolute beast. However, it's not without perfections. I actually made a big mistake not so long ago. Like now, I did not turn off the valve. And I'd flooded everything out. I showed you guys a video in that a little bit earlier. There we go. We are off on both ends. But guys, what an absolute monster. Let me quickly take you outside and show you what I mean. I had to build a quick little table. Let's go take a walk. AM's doing some really cool stuff here. There's going to be an academy running from here. Really cool. So this is the water feed that's coming through the system. And this is basically holding your water. So it's using the water because it has more mass to pull the vacuum. That's why these things are so strong. And the thing is, you can actually have conversation, guys. You really can have conversation. So here's a little peek of what I'm doing. Coming up next to kind of show you guys what this was all about. This was learning how good the AM machine can cut. Yeah, I tell you, it's we are now that for you guys in machining. See if I can get this nice. That is a 90% step over, smooth as a baby's bottom. Here is the bits that I'm using. These are some straight cut bits, double flute, right? This is available from AM. And my cutting speed on the birch ply at the moment, I don't think I need to go any higher. Quality is just absolutely outstanding. I've got the hiccups again. So I'm doing 2 passes running at 4,500 millimeters a minute, or 4.5 meters a minute. Spindle speed is 18,000 RPM, which is giving me a chip load of 0.125. This machine with its 5.5 kilowatt motor is absolutely sailing through the material in 2 passes on 18 millimeter birch. All right, so been a little bit quiet, but that's where we are, and let's make things happen. Next up, I've been waiting for this for a long time. We're going to be putting some proper premium birch ply cabinets into the market for 2 brands right now, and I can't wait to show you these when they're finished. I'm not going to tell you who they are for, but I will show you the end product and then announce which brand in the market is going to be getting the best of the best plywood, not this cheap Chinese ply. Though it is birch, it is a slightly lower grade birch. This really is cosmetically perfect stuff. It's freaking fantastic. And a big shout out on the topic of birch ply to Universal Plywoods for, again, Peter and team. Thank you so much. Every time we've had a problem, Universal has come through, especially on the good of the better materials. And once again, they've pulled a rabbit out of the hat. They've saved me on this deal. I highly recommend that you go in and you speak to Peter, one of the sales guys. Go meet the team from Universal Plywood if you are looking for birch ply. This is the quality of the stuff. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot recommend them any further. But in terms of the AM stuff, we've been playing. We are generating a little bit of content across the board for TikTok and so forth. Great machines, guys. Truthfully speaking, really great machines. Doing a little bit of V-carving there. I've had an opportunity to play with a ray cut now. Again, what an awesome machine, guys. If you are looking to buy, whether it is a wood laser cutter, guys are constantly cutting projects on these things. And if you're in the market to buy one of these, guys, come through, bring some material, let's cut some stuff. Doesn't matter whether it's perspex or balsa wood, whatever the case is, bring your material. The same thing is going to apply for the fiber laser. Bring your own steel along. We will then cut it together. Same thing is going to apply with the CNCs. And I think within the next 1 or 2 weeks, I will get the ATC up, which is an absolute beast. And we'll start doing some cutting on this and show you just how powerful this is if you are into furniture making and so forth. Automatic tool changer is an absolute must. Precision 0.05 millimeters, 9 kilowatt water cooled spindle. It's an absolute monster. I can't wait to show you guys exactly how cool this machine is. But yeah, give sales a call, arrange for an appointment, and let's cut some material.